Thousands of games come to Kickstarter and other crowdfunding platforms every year, but how would these projects fare without knowledge of the designer, IP, or funding amount? In this segment, Anthony describes 5 ending soon projects, and Frances tells you whether she would pass
No, this is not something that I can see us playing.
or play.
I want to play this.
Wow, you do?
Right now.
Okay. Hi, welcome to episode 4 of Pass or Play. I'm your host, Anthony.
And I'm Frances.
And today I'm going to bring you 5 crowd-funded Kickstarter board games.
Are they all Kickstarter, or did you find some Gamefound?
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to bring you 5 crowd-funded
I need all the clues.
board games, some of which this week, one of which this week is on Gamefound.
Okay, sounds good.
So we're going to shake things up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to come right out of the gate with the Gamefound game.
All right, well, let's do it.
We're going to change things up a little bit based on viewer feedback.
Oh, we are?
Yes, so what we're going to do, last episode, we did not reveal the games until the end.
Correct.
So we're going to, I think this week we'll change that up.
Okay, what do you want to do?
So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk through the game. And as you all remember, and if you're new to the channel and you're new to this episode, I will be describing a game campaign that is currently active on a crowdfunding webpage.
Right.
Frances is going to decide after I finish describing the game, and she asks me a series of questions, whether or not she would pass and skip the crowdfunding campaign, or will she play and like to actually support the campaign.
Yeah.
Right? Very simple. We're going to cover 5 board games this week. And
how are we changing it, though? So what are you going to do instead of...
So what we're going to do is I'm going to reveal the game at the end of each segment.
Okay. But we're not going to talk about it until the end?
We can talk about it, and then we can just do a quick recap at the end of all 5.
Okay, sounds good.
And
whatever you want. This is your show.
We'll see what...
I just live here.
We'll see what viewer feedback is after this week.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of take all of that.
I know everybody's split. Some of you like to see it like right as soon as I say whether I'm going to pass or play, and some of you like to wait till the end, so whatever. You can't please everybody.
Can't please everybody, but we're going to try to shake it up a little bit this week, and we'll see what the feedback is, and hopefully it will go over not like a lead balloon. All right, so are you ready?
I am ready. I was born ready for this.
Then shall we begin? Game number 1. Okay, so game number 1 is on Gamefound, as I mentioned earlier. There are 6 days to go on this one.
Okay.
It is a 1 to 5 player game, 40 minutes, age 14 plus.
Okay.
The genre is fantasy, exploration, RPG, and adventure.
Okay.
All right. So basically, this is a fully cooperative and strategy board game of tactical combat in a dungeon crawl adventure for 1 to 5 players.
Okay.
Sounds like so many other games that have come out recently.
I know, like, how is this different than another tactical co-op dungeon crawl?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. So this is based on multiple 3D scenarios, each of them played separately or in a continuous storyline. Each scenario has its own unique setup, darkness rules, and different goals that will need to be achieved in order to obtain victory.
3D?
3D. Amazing.
Okay.
I know, 3D.
Okay.
So obviously this game has a plethora of miniatures.
Okay.
Okay, like a lot of dungeon crawlers do. So imagine your tile placement, miniatures on a board, dungeon crawler, right? So let me give you a little bit about how to play the game.
Okay, please do.
And then we can go from there. So you start by choosing to play a standalone adventure with a full campaign, which offers the compilation of all adventure stories and the ability to evolve your hero. Then you choose your hero class, action cubes, and a dungeon roll.
Okay.
Right?
Like
you with me?
I'm with
roll
you.
as in like your roll.
I understand.
Okay, not as in roll the dice.
I get it.
Grab your starting equipment cards, and now you're ready to begin adventuring.
Okay.
To explore the dungeon, you literally open a door, you unfold, and see how to assemble the next room and read the text that you find. I guess that's where the 3D comes in, right?
Okay.
Immerse yourself in a 3D scenario with beautifully illustrated maps, with multiple doors of the same room with a QR code system.
Okay, so we're using like an app, or is it a?
Well, it's a combination. Obviously, there's QR, and that's a big turnoff to some people.
It is.
Some people don't care, right?
Right.
You have many possibilities and new difficulties of dungeons, adding an extra layer of replayability.
Okay.
You need good resource management to perform your skill attacks, cast powerful spells, or even teleport yourself out of harm. And for that, you'll have to manage and spend your action cubes,
Okay.
which
Okay.
is not dice,
Right,
where
right.
you'll see a lot of dungeons that are dice, dungeon rolls that are
Yeah.
dice, right? When you spend all your action cubes, you'll have to perform a recall action to rest your capabilities. When when recalling, you gain curse cubes that will lock your skills. So be careful.
You said that like it was a good thing.
Well, be careful. If your hero gets enough curse cubes, darkness will take over and corrupt your hero to their world.
Okay.
All right, upon adventuring, you find many interaction points and locations, and with an immersive art to show what the hero is seeing. Be careful because some of them may have consequences. There will be consequences.
There will be consequences. There's always consequences.
Through the adventure or even your whole campaign. Right? The final activation of the round is the darkness. Geometric tiles are drawn from the rune bag and are added to the map. So actually, different shaped darkness tiles are drawn and placed on the map. So they're going to cover up
In this 3D map.
bits of the 3D
Okay.
floor. So I guess they're going to close off the map if you take too long.
Right.
So that
Is that it?
is it.
Okay. I have a pretty good idea about this one. I
Okay.
think. I wasn't sure at first because when you started off with just like, this is a dungeon adventure, like every other dungeon adventure.
Yes.
But it sounds, there's a couple of things I like about it, and maybe we can go over that afterwards. I will play this one.
You
wanna
will play?
This. Yeah, I will play this game.
That's a play.
That's a play.
First game out of the gate,
so you're
and it's a
gonna
play.
tell me what it is now? Right now?
Well, I will tell you what. I'll give the name of it.
Okay, and let's talk about
And
it
then
at
we'll
the
talk
end.
about
Okay,
them at
that
the end.
sounds good.
So, all right. So the reveal, if you're, well, you're going to get the spoiler here. So here it is. So the name of the game that's on Gamefound is called Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness,
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse.
Yes. Okay. Right.
All right, by Creative Game Studios LLC.
Yeah.
We will talk more about it
Okay,
at
yeah,
the
I
end.
want to.
But that's number one. All right. So, ready to move on?
Yes.
All right. Game number 2. Now, this one is on Kickstarter.
Okay.
So it is a game.
I would hope so.
Well, hold on,
Well, actually, sometimes you bring us stuff that they're not.
Yeah, so that's true. So you
Yeah,
can't
that's okay.
say that. So I'll just describe. The game is a breakthrough thematic deck building, challenging strategic.
Breakthrough is a little bit subjective. isn't
Okay,
it?
well that's how it's being described. It's a sales pitch, right?
Okay.
Like, these are all sales pitches. It's got challenging strategic paths and game modes for 1 to 4 players. Right.
Okay.
So it is a deck builder.
Okay.
It is in the fantasy theme, and it is a competitive, right?
Okay.
So you are playing different cities.
You're playing different cities.
Like your well, I guess whatever your faction is, right?
Okay.
You have a city cards. You've got a starter deck
Okay.
with basic troops.
So you're like, you have a city or a faction that you're playing.
Yes, and
Okay.
you have starter deck with generic troops, right? Which can be used as combat or
Okay.
as
Right.
resources to buy other cards.
stuff, yeah.
You're going to have buildings. You're going to be able to play. You're going to be able to play out troops. You've got command cards, which will give you additional attack points and abilities that you can play in the game.
Are you fighting a bunch of stuff?
Well, you are fighting a bunch of people. You are. This is competitive, so it's me
You're fighting
against
other
you.
people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There is also a solo mode, so you
Okay.
will fight against monsters if you want to play
Right.
in that sort of that mode. There's a free for all mode. There's a dragon you can send out after each other to hurt each other a little bit more. It's basically your fantasy themed deck building combat game where you manage a tableau and you play cards against each other. It's not. I'm not.
I'm waiting for something redeeming to me.
I mean, there's champions that you can get that may stand out a bit.
Yeah.
There are journey cards. There are various other additions to the game that may or may not change it. It's really hard to go into that detail.
Yeah, without revealing.
Without
too much.
revealing a lot of things, but I mean, it's technically.
That's okay. I've made up my mind.
Well, that was really
Yeah,
really fast.
no.
You didn't give me a chance to.
Well, did you finish? You didn't finish?
Well,
you just kept kind of going on like there's not much more.
Well, I mean.
I can't really tell you anymore.
Well, like, here's some actions, right?
Okay.
You'll be able to play an agent card, play a card from your hand, get points from cards, acquire assets, just like I was discussing before. Redeploy troops, attack cities. Like I said, you're going to have a city. You can attack other people's agents. You can get wonders. You can defeat the dragon.
Right. I think the thing is, my biggest turnoff with this is that it's competitive deck building against each other. And just in the way that we play, it probably wouldn't be extremely fun.
So how does that translate into?
Oh, that's a pass.
Oh, wow, hard pass.
That's a hard pass for
Just
me.
because it's not our type of game.
Well, and that's, again, I guess if you're new to the show, this isn't like, you should not back this game.
Okay.
This is just whether I, based on the description alone and not knowing anything else about it, would want to play or support the campaign.
Okay.
So this is not something that I could see us playing.
All right, so this is a pass. The name of the game is Volfirion Guilds.
Okay.
And it is made by Tabula Games.
Oh, okay.
Who made Mysthia.
Yes, yeah, which we did enjoy.
We did enjoy Mysthia.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little bit. All right.
See, that's not, I'm going to talk about it. Okay.
Okay, so here we are moving on to game number 3.
All right.
All right, so in game number 3, you are taking the role of an all-powerful demigod in an ever-shifting world. Right?
Oh, okay.
This is an innovative, thinky, puzzle-like board game with layers of strategy and unique mechanics that erupt with life on every turn.
That sentence sounded awesome and told me absolutely nothing about the game.
It didn't, and that was completely intentional. So let me describe what the game is. Right?
Okay.
So it is definitely a board game where you will be placing tiles.
Okay.
You will be placing workers, and just imagine the board is an ocean, right? And am I putting you to sleep with this? I'm sorry. Already you're yawning. Is that a sign of what's to come?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. So basically, you're on a hunt for knowledge. You're in control of a demigod, right?
Now you said the board is an ocean.
Now you have people on the board. These are like your worshipers, because you're a demigod.
Oh, that's
Right? So these are your worshipers, and you're assigning your followers as workers, right?
Okay.
And they're putting out tiles on the board, and the board is an ocean. The tiles are land tiles, and you're shifting land tiles as if you're controlling the tectonic plates on the planet, right?
I like that.
And as you're vying for creating land, you're able to put people and worshipers on that land to learn knowledge, because they're able to study now. And then you'll start to build up the land to eventually become mountains. And once it becomes a mountain, it can't be taken down again. So you'll see, plates will shift.
This reminds me a little bit of
I hope you're not going to say Cooper Island, because it's definitely not.
well, no, not in the game, but just basically that you're building tiles up in it.
Yeah, but this isn't like that high.
Okay.
So you will, imagine you've got a tile that's land,
Yeah.
right? And other people do stuff and they shift it and it can go back underwater.
So you could shift the tiles that
everybody,
people are on
everybody's,
and
because
everything?
everybody's vying to move the tiles
And
around.
this plays with 2 people?
This plays 1 to 4, I believe.
Okay.
And then you can push the tiles around, and then eventually you'll get your people on there. They'll build little towns and stuff,
Right.
and they'll be able to study and gain more knowledge. And as you gain knowledge, your skills will go up, and your abilities and your actions get stronger.
Right.
So you're all trying to build the world as
Yeah.
demigods by pushing these tiles back and forth. So what you can do, you'll shift full rows of land tiles. I think you push one on and it slides the row over.
Okay.
That type of movement.
Oh, right.
You'll move small sets of land tiles to collide and form larger tiles, volcanoes and mountains. Volcanoes will erupt.
That's kind of cool.
When the volcanoes erupt, they form new land tiles. Your followers will build sacred sites on the mountains to gain wisdom and climb the ascension tracker. They'll journey across the land to visit other mountains. They'll study at sacred sites, and then will return from studying, and that's how you gain points. So the demigod with the most, study points at the end, most knowledge.
People studying your knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I want to play this
wow, you do?
right now.
Okay.
I want to play this right
Well,
now.
I guess you're hooked on that one, huh?
I like this. I like the concept. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I'll definitely give this a shot.
Okay. The name of the game, for those of you out there, is called Oros.
Oh, wow.
Why is that so?
Well, because I keep seeing this game pop up on like everyone's Instagram,
Oh.
but I haven't seen it played. So
You're not supposed to be looking at Instagrams or anything that has to do with Kickstarter.
It's in my face. I can't help it.
Okay, so it's made by AESC. I don't know how to say that word.
Yeah.
Games.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to talk about it for now. We're going to move on to the next game.
We could talk about it.
All right, so that was a play. So
I
far,
definitely played that. Yeah.
we're done with our third, and we're ready to move on to a fourth.
Okay, sounds good.
So game number 4. All right, so here we go. Game number 4. This is an immersive sim adventure board game for 1 to 4 players.
A sim?
Oh, I guess simulation, right? Just not like the Sims, like that thing about there. Not like that.
I was like, wait, what?
No, it's not like those. Not like that at all. Okay. Not even close. Okay, an immersive sim adventure board game for 1 to 4 players, set in the wild frontier.
Okay. Oh,
All
like
right.
Oregon Trail.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll say that. Sure. So this is an open world, Western themed game.
Have we played this game?
We've not. We've played a game, I guess you could say, similar to this, right?
Okay.
And it is 2 to 4 players, 1 to 2.5 hours, 6 different game modes. Basically, the game mechanics are you get action points that you'll be able to use on your turn.
Okay.
Point-to-point movement. There's line of sight, so you move from acre to acre
Cool.
along their connected trails and put long-range weapons to use on enemies within your line of sight. So you're shooting at each other.
Is this like a tower defense kind of thing?
Not at all.
Or?
This is an open world game where
You just
there's the
go
map and you go and
Are there like
do
worker placement spaces?
action
or?
points. No, so you're moving your little cowboy around the map. You know what I'm saying?
How are you? No, I don't. I don't understand what you're saying at all.
Well, you have action points. So okay, so if it costs me 1 action to move from this space to that space, I pay an action point. Maybe I have 4 action points to spend on my turn.
Right.
One action would be to move. The
how do you
second
get
action,
points?
you start with so many action points. At
No,
the
I mean
beginning.
like points. Like how do you win?
I don't know yet. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that point. I haven't gotten there.
know.
There's too many questions.
How to win.
There's dice rolling.
Okay.
To perform skill checks, endeavors, and special moves. It's got a modular, double-sided board. You play 5 different game modes or even create your own. Explore the frontier by day or at night. And the double-sided game boards, increasing complexity gradually with 10-plus game mechanic modules. Capitalize your character's unique skills and abilities. So you've got upgrades. They have agility, strength. I don't even know what that is. Sneakiness, willpower. Modify your skills by recruiting new folks into your team. Use your unique class perk to gain the cutting edge. There's deck building and hand management. Purchase new equipment to modify your combat deck, and then strategize and manage your hand carefully as deck diminishes during each fight. So you're going to play as one of 4 strangers: the arsonist, the merchant, the gunslinger, or the thief. Varied goals, abilities, and personalities as they make the game for themselves in the new frontier town of Gallows Springs.
Oh, do they talk like that?
They probably do because it's out west. Explore the wilderness somewhere in like Idaho or like where they have potatoes. So explore the wilderness and hone your skills by harvesting valuable and useful resources to make a quick buck or give yourself the cutting edge. Purchase unique equipment and weapons, cultivate the land, and make the wilderness your home by strategically building and placing cabins that generate resources and offer shelter.
That I like. That's like the first thing that I've heard where I'm like, oh, okay.
Recruit riders at the local saloon that offer unique abilities to your posse. Watch as the riders sacrifice themselves to save you or betray them for your own gain.
Wait, what? As they
sacrifice themselves to save you.
Right, or what? Or what else do they do?
Or you can betray them for your own gain.
Oh, not very nice.
Depends on how good of a cowboy you are.
Okay.
You get multiple player goals that are unique to your character and shape your own narrative story. You're going to fight for survival against outlaws, bandits, cultists, and predators that skulk in the shadows outside of town.
Okay.
So it's not just against other players. You're having combat against animals and other, I guess I'm assuming, NPCs. You engage and react to a living world, responding to random encounters and events. And do you think you have what it takes to survive long enough to become the most notorious?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I just like zoned out like 3 times during that story.
It just wasn't interesting enough for you?
Well, the thing is, I feel like it's a game I would want to play on, like, on the PlayStation or something.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes, exactly. Like where you can kind of ride your horse off and you can go to this guy and pick up stuff and you can go fight that guy.
Right.
And, I'm not that I wouldn't play it, because I would probably give it a shot. But I don't know if it would be the kind of experience that I'm not super excited about playing that in a board game.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. So,
do you know what I mean?
That's a pass.
I think that's going to be a pass for me. Only because I have to stick to my guns. You know?
And it just didn't call to you, just what's going on.
It just didn't call to me.
Okay.
Yeah, just not the way the campaign's presented.
That's fair enough.
So, not to say I would never play it, but in this episode tonight, it's going to be a pass.
Okay. The name of the game, for those of you who are on the edge of your seat, is called Bantam West.
Oh.
Another one you see in your feed?
Another one that I see. Let me tell you something about feeds. And this is coming from somebody who's like in the industry, right? I have seen this game, and I have seen Oros, that's the last one. I can see the box. I know they're hot. They're super cool games. Couldn't tell you one thing about any of these games.
Right. And I've just told you everything about this game.
And I still don't know what game it is.
Well, now you do.
Well, now I do. But I'm saying, like, just by describing it,
right.
I don't know. So there's a thing
right.
about seeing stuff over and over and over. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it gets in you. It's like
it's definitely in my head.
It's in your head, but it's not enough to get you to commit.
But what's funny is, like, if I saw Oros the box, I guess, like, I would pick it up at a game store and be like, oh, what's this about? Because I've seen it like 1,000 times. Like, I can just picture it. But again,
is that enough to get you to buy it?
But I don't know if it's enough to get. It's definitely not enough to get me to buy it.
Right.
It's enough to get me to, like, want it, I guess. But kind of flipping the script a little bit, now I'm actually, like, more excited about Oros.
Now that you know
about it. Now that I know about it.
Right. Just imagine how you'd feel after you saw a playthrough.
But wink. But the same thing with Bantam West, because I kind of thought that that's, like, just based on the box alone, I guess. I don't know. Seemed like one that we might be into, but now, like, really thinking about the campaign, I don't think it's one that I would enjoy.
Okay. Well, that's
right out of the box.
Fair enough.
So
that's Bantam West. All right.
It's such an interesting experiment. This
really is. So final game.
Okay.
So number 5. All right, this one's also on Kickstarter. This one is 18 days left. So they range from, I think it was 6 or 7 days.
Yeah, I think we're giving you guys like 2 weeks now.
7 to 18, yeah. So here you go.
Okay.
This game is a sustainably produced, customizable, cooperative card game set in the wilderness of the far future for 1 to 4 players.
That's a lot of words.
Yes. So, sustainably produced.
That's good. It's made out of, like, recycled bottles.
It's made out of lettuce and cabbage, I think.
Wait.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, the wilderness of the far future beckons.
Wait, I want to say something.
Yeah.
Somebody should make a game where you can, like, plant all the components and stuff after you're done playing it, and it will just, like, turn into a garden.
I would hope it's a legacy game. Okay.
Can we make that?
It sounds like a Uwe Rosenberg game, though. Like, if I put 2 pieces of pumpkins on the board, I'll end up with 3 pumpkins at the end of that round.
Viewers of the show.
So this board game, is the wilderness of the far future beckons in this customizable cooperative card game for 1 to 4 players.
Okay.
You're going to explore a lush and vibrant world full of natural wonders and mysterious ruins, to encounter majestic wildlife, contend with dangerous predators. Express your personality, and I had to skip the word because that would have given it away.
Okay.
Express your personality and personal history through a myriad of deck customization.
My real personality?
Options. No, your characters.
Oh, okay.
I had to skip that.
Oh, okay.
Uncover the valley's secrets in a sprawling open-world narrative campaign. So there's a valley board, right?
Okay.
It is obviously a card game.
Okay.
With with cards that are like the player cards, right? There's a bunch of valley cards, which I guess like are things you encounter in the valley. There's landscape cards that
This is a campaign?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like I guess you would call it an adventure card game, right?
Oh, right. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so it's got a like it's really a card-based game with a play mat, right? So it's not like there is no board, right? It's the cards come out. So you're going to have like the lay of the land. You're going to have
landscape cards that come out.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll begin by building a deck that reflects your character's personal history. Okay. Then as you explore the open world, your story will take shape, and you'll augment your deck to improve equipment, refine skills, and memories of your journey.
Okay.
Right? It's very much like creating a character in a role-playing game. You'll craft your backstory from various options. You'll begin choosing their aspects. Grant you resources that you use during the play. You'll choose their background, their specialization, their personality, and finally their outside interest. Your choice will give you access to specific card pools from which you'll be able to choose cards that best fit your character concept.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's played in rounds, and these rounds are made of turns. On your turn, you'll be able to perform one action, either play a card from your hand or choose an action on the table. Action on the table allow you to interact thematically and narratively with the world around you.
Do you have to like tell a story as you're playing?
I don't know. You probably could if you wanted to really get into the role-playing bit.
Okay.
You'll spend energy from your resource pool and increase your effort by discarding matching icons from cards in your hand. So it's like kind of matching set type stuff. Reveal challenge card to determine success or failure. So success or failure is not by dice, it's by flipping cards, and they have different symbols, and you're trying to match those symbols. Your actions help shape the course of events, but the valley is a life of its own. Each time you take an action, the world comes to life around you. Like different challenges are going to happen, and you've got to deal with that based on what's actually happening.
Okay.
And when you begin the narrative campaign, the world is yours to explore. Tread the critical path or strike off on your own to discover the valley's many engaging characters, mysterious ruins, and wildlife, both familiar and strange. A story to tell is your own, and no two playthroughs need be the same.
Oh, okay. I mean, it sounds that way because you're kind of crafting everything as you go.
Yeah.
Is that all you've got for me?
That is the game.
You had me up until the testing with flipping cards. Is there any way to maybe there's ways to mitigate
Well, there's
that
the
with
whole
your
thing
abilities
about
and
getting
stuff?
equipment and abilities and.
I am really intrigued by this actually.
Okay.
I will definitely play this.
Definitely play on this one. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's great. It's a cooperative game, by the way. Cooperative card game.
Cooperative too? See, I didn't even ask.
I read that in the beginning, but that's okay.
It was a lot of words in that first paragraph.
I know. So the name of the game, for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, is called Earthborn Rangers.
Oh, okay. I've not heard of this.
And it is a very pretty game.
Is it pretty? I want to see.
No.
Well, I already said I would
Oh,
play.
okay.
They're probably already seeing pictures of it.
Yeah, but that's the art.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is pretty.
Would you play this one?
Oh, yeah. I would play this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
So let's go. So you said that's a play.
Yeah, that's a play.
All right, so let's do a recap.
Yeah, let's recap.
Okay. All right, so starting with the first game, which was Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness,
yes,
Apocalypse.
There's so many words.
This is the dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
This is on GameFound. 6 days left. The current backing is at $1.4 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one is pretty happily funded. Like any dungeon crawling game with a lot of miniatures,
right?
They usually make $1 million.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the secret sauce, right?
Yeah, I would definitely play this. I was surprised actually when you said the name of the game.
Why is that?
Because I was just talking to Brian about this game last night.
Oh, were you?
I was like on the Kickstarter page. I was like getting graphics off of there and stuff, and to me, like just based on like art and the look of the game alone, it was. It's a very intimidating game for me. Like, it would be one that I'm like, that's probably not for me, and I wouldn't take a second look at it. But when you described it without seeing what it looked like or what the game was, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, I would play this game. And it's got cool minis. Sign me up.
Interesting, because there's a lot of cards, a lot of stuff going on in this game.
Oh yeah. But it seems
I would definitely dig this one.
Yeah, it seems really, really cool. So now I'm like more excited.
Now you're even more excited now than you were before.
That's why this is so cool, because it's not one that I like. If I was looking through GameFound, I would scroll right past it.
You would have skipped right past it.
Because I'm like, nope, that guy's creepy looking, and that's probably not something that was made for me. And
but see that just based on the description. So you liked that one. You passed on this one, the Volfirion Guild.
I did pass on that one, yeah. I think because it was just very like, it's like deck builder and you're just kind of deck building.
It's a combat deck building game.
Exactly.
And I kind of knew going into this one that you probably would just skip based on that alone.
What did you think I was, did you think I was pass or play the first one?
I thought you'd probably pass, but I was surprised you played that one.
Yeah.
Just because dungeon crawler.
Right.
But
it's 3D and like other.
Yeah, I guess all those bits helped you out. Then again, you've played Descent with me, so you probably this one, look, this card game has some really good looking art, and it seems like if you're into like those combat-y card games, the competitive deck builders, then this is probably right up your alley.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not surprised you passed on this purely because, like I said,
that's just not my bag.
No, but the art is definitely in their style, which they do good art.
Yeah.
Tabula Games.
They do.
They definitely do good art. Yeah. So that was a pass on Volfirion Guilds.
Right.
And number 3 was Oros.
I know.
And look, this game, did you ever see? You've seen this one because it's been
Yeah, the thing is I haven't actually seen, I've seen the game, and I've seen it like on everybody's Instagram.
Right.
And to be honest, it looks on the surface like a light.
It does, graphically.
Like a maybe almost too light. And I think based on like who I've seen with the game and all that kind of thing, to me, I probably would have been like, that's probably going to be a pass for us. I want something a little heavier.
Right.
Because I'm just like, reading a book by its cover, thinking it looks really pretty, but I don't know if it's something I want to learn how to play. Hearing you describe it though, I'm like, all about it.
It seems a little more complex than it looks.
Yeah, it really does. It has that kind of complexity of a puzzle, it looks like almost.
Yeah. This is definitely...
Which hits the spot, I'm telling you. Simple in design.
I personally think this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be interested in it myself.
Yeah.
And you picked play on this one.
I did. Yeah, definitely.
I kind of thought you would, and because it really does look unique.
Yeah, I'm into that.
And it's got a lot of different, a good blend of mechanics.
Right.
That I think would be kind of fun.
Cool.
So, all right, that was number 3.
All right.
Number 4 is one you passed on, and hold on, let me just see where it is. I know it's funded. These are all funded, by the way. 138,000, so pretty good.
For Oris,
Volfirion Guilds, just to go back, $250,000.
Okay.
So that one's pretty well funded as well. All right, so game number 4 was Bantam West.
Yeah.
Sitting at $199,577, so almost $200,000. This was that open world West game. Like the look of it is pretty nice.
Yeah, I want to see the pictures of it.
The board, the miniatures look cool. Like it's just regular landscape. You know what I mean? It's
right.
I guess it's open world, but is it too open world?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know, and I don't know how this is going to play.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I mean, I knew you were going to pass on this one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because it didn't seem like it had enough
structure.
Yeah, not just structure, but it seemed very just like heavy on theme and action, and not like mechanic.
Yeah, and you know that.
And I know that's where you fall off, where it's like, all right, I move so many spaces and do something.
Right.
And then I move so many spaces and do something, and you usually get lost on those at that point.
I'm just kind of like. Yeah.
Like, all right, what do I want to do this turn? I'll take 2 steps and then I'll do this action. Versus, I need to think 3 turns ahead because I need to manage a resource pool that's very thin, and how do I build this, and what can be the best scoring opportunity. Yeah, like this is a game that you probably lukewarm on.
Right.
But, that's what I thought, and I was right.
Yeah, you were.
It's like
you know me.
That's a little bit, I do. So Bantam West, but who knows? It could be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just don't know.
For the right crowd too.
Yeah, it'd be for the right crowd. I don't know if that's for us.
But based on description alone.
Yeah, not for you. All right, final game. This was a play, right? So this was Earthborn Rangers.
Yeah, this looks so cool.
This had some really nice looking art.
You thought I would play this?
Yeah, I just thought it was charming.
Right.
And you like these charming, rich story games.
I do.
That really kind of like have a strong narrative.
Play this right now.
Yeah, and it's very pretty.
I like the role playing, and we don't do a ton of like role playing games, like not real role playing games or any games that have role playing in them. You know, but I do like when we get to like even like Name of the Wind. What's the Call to Adventure. I love Call to Adventure. You don't, because you don't like the mechanics and stuff. What I love about that game is crafting your story as you go, and then at the end of the game, seeing this person that you've created and like all the things that they've gone through in this like hour and a half long, you know, play session. And this seems to be very similar to that. Like I told you before in a few episodes of this very show, I'm not a very creative person. Like, I mean, I am creative, but not in like the I'm just gonna come up with my own story. So I like games that help me get into that role-playing experience by like giving me some options, and then I can then connect the dots together.
That looks
I'm
like
all
this.
about
Yeah,
this.
this one looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I definitely think we would play this for sure. I was pegging on you getting this. I was like, yeah, I would definitely play this one myself because it looks really good.
And it's sustainable.
And it's sustainable. Yeah, not every game company can say they do that.
Right.
So we
awesome.
always appreciate that. So there you have it. Those were this week's games, all
Those were
5.
good games this week.
Really good, right? So it's kind of good to do this every couple weeks.
That's why I think every 2 weeks is probably good for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way you've got more to choose from. Some weeks are just
some weeks are a stretch, and you're like, oh, am I going to do this 9-player card game that plays in 20 minutes? I guess I could do it. But that's just it's not as exciting. I like giving you a game that really pushes you to think about, is this something you would play?
Yeah.
Or is it not?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I loved this.
So,
this was good.
There we go. So this week you have 3 plays and 2 passes.
All right.
All right. So we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Pass or Play. Thanks for watching. We shall see you next time.
We'll see ya. That was really good. I really want to play that game.